Sip and Discuss. I am Michelle Mosley.
And I'm Khalida Hunter.
And this is a podcast for Black and brown folks. A safe place for us to discuss topics that matter to us. No topic is off limits, and this is a non-judgment zone.
Zero judgment.
Zero judgment. So what's up? We have Kloset Slayer in the house. And tonight on Instagram, guys, we actually have an audience. I'm so excited. Excited. And if you could see the audience, the majority of the audience has Kloset Slayer on.
Yes.
Which is so dope.
They all have it on.
Yeah.
And Juan is wearing our new men's stuff. So everybody has it on.
So we will get pictures of him. On Instagram, we are not completely ignoring you, but as you know, every Thursday we do film for our YouTube page as well. But we also go live with you guys so we can interact with you. So tonight we will be discussing and celebrating Kloset Slayer making it to VH1.
Yes.
Black Ink Crew. And then we also going to talk about broke niggas. Do broke niggas deserve pussy?
And of course, we did some surveys and we got the answer.
What the majority has said, even though we kind of don't agree.
We don't agree, but this is a judgment-free zone.
This is a judgment-free zone. All right, so let's start. We're happy to have you here.
Yes.
Of course, I know.
She's been here. She's been here a couple times.
Yes.
Many times. One time she made a drink for us, and
we got drunk.
That was the best clip of all time. It was the best
yes,
clip.
because like we tasted it and it was like,
You said reach out to them, my ancestors.
yes,
Right.
It was my ancestors.
And her poor hand is super heavy.
yes.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes,
They all know that.
If you've been following Sip and Discuss, when we do our summer cocktail series, we never measure things out. We always ask the ancestors to just guide us.
Yes.
So how many other shots the ancestors, however many shots the ancestors tell us to do, that's what we do. Or we say like, what kind of day
Was it a
what kind of
two-shot?
Yeah. So Marcia is a friend, family of the show.
Yes.
So tell us, when did Kloset Slayer get started? Describe what it is and let us know, when did it get started?
Kloset Slayer got started in 2014. So the brand, I wanted to do a brand that fit everybody. So there wasn't like, if somebody was on plus size or if somebody was like too small, anything like that. I wanted something to be able to have like a appeal for everybody. So a lot of times you can't find sizes in certain things. And I had a couple girlfriends that were, bigger, whatever else, or guy friends, and they always said that they always had problems finding clothes that fit them. So that was like a main thing for us to provide like a appeal for everybody that could fit.
And you started off, everyone that's from Jersey knows her, but you started off with the face of Kloset Slayer being Sing, which was amazing because not only is she beautiful, but she represents the LGBTQ community.
Sing has been with me since I started my brand, and since I told,
even though she's a celebrity, we already know who she is.
But when I told Sing that I wanted to start this brand, she was behind me 100%. But we went through a lot of difficulty in the beginning with a lot of photographers didn't want to work with us because of her being transgender or whatever else. And they told me that I needed to change my cover girl because my brand was never going to make it with her being my cover girl.
Oh, we like shit like that though.
Right.
But
because then we gonna show you.
Well, we did.
Yes.
And I mean, there were even times at fashion
How many
shows.
covers?
We've had over 14 covers, international and regular. But in the beginning, when Sting was a model, even at fashion shows, they treated us a lot different because they'd be like, oh, well, we know what she is, or like Atlantic City Fashion Week even was like, oh, she's gonna ruin your show. And I still snuck her in the back door at Atlantic City Fashion Week and had her walk on my runway. And when they seen her on my runway, they almost died. And they're like, oh, because it was too late. Like, I just snuck her in the side door. It was like, she's going to be on my runway. But it's...
I've known her for 10 years. 10 years plus probably now, and she is that friend. She is that friend that is going to have your back even if she has to break rules. Like, when she believes in something, she believes in something. And that's outstanding that you were able to do that. Sing, how do you feel being the face of Kloset Slayer and being in this type of industry, fashion and modeling, and representing the LGBTQ?
I actually feel like amazing because it's like something that's like history. Like for me, starting Kloset Slayer and stuff like that, like I broke records and stuff like that, being the first transgender model from South Jersey to step on Fashion Week. I got a lot of opportunities and it's been great.
Sing definitely set boundaries when she was the first transgender girl to ever walk, like in Philly Fashion Week. She was the first transgender model to ever walk in Philly Fashion Week or on the show for Elusive Magazine at Fashion Week. So Sing definitely set some bars from us, but we never said we're gonna have somebody else that's our cover girl, and always has been and will be.
I like to hear stuff like that. I really, really do. And we are the minorities, the black and brown. Marcia is Latino and Italian. We are the sometimes the underdogs, and they always try to tell us what we can't do.
They always want to censor us.
And we
well, there's a lot of censoring in the fashion world though. Now it's getting like a little bit more. Like if somebody like big, like Marc Jacobs does something, then it's okay. But they don't really understand the things that you have to go through when it comes to just working like locally or things like that. That's why we always work in New York or Newark or somewhere like that, because even in Atlantic City, there's, you know, they say there's so much, oh yeah, this is great. Like when an article comes out about you, or we were on Black Ink, there's so many inboxes, but the times before then when you asked to work with this person or that person and they're like, oh no, you know, this is that, and I don't want my, well, okay.
But that, it's always, because even Kanye spoke about that, it always boggles my mind when we are the trendsetters. So how are we being closed out of the fashion industry
that we created? We created the fashion.
Well, it's never anything good until people see you do something. Like, you don't get completely, I honestly, I can't even think of people around this area besides a certain few friends that are here that buy my things. All of my supporters come from New York and things like that. Like when we do things like Black Ink, the night that we were on Black Ink, the premiere, we didn't even know we were going to be on the premiere. We just knew that we were going to be on that season. That night of the premiere, we sold over 250 sweatshirts the next day, and every single sale came from Harlem, Brooklyn, Queens, nothing from this area.
Wow. We have a whole show about
about
that.
Shade is real.
The shade is real, but you know, I love where I'm from. I'm a Jersey girl strong, but I just made a whole post about that on Facebook. So,
but my inbox the next day was everybody from Atlantic City like, hey, are you ready to shoot? Or hey, are you ready to work?
Because you're not popular here until you're popular somewhere else. It's a popularity.
But when our article came out about Sing being the first transgender model, that was the most shares that the Atlantic City press has ever seen. We had over 575 shares, and they told us, the Atlantic City press reached out to us and told us that was the most shares any one of their articles have ever seen. And you'll see like a difference in your inbox from them, because you know, you always see your messages of friends or you see your messages from somebody else. But
so how was it working with Black Ink? Like, walk us through what it's like to keep at it, because some people want to look and they see where you've arrived and they think it just happened. Oh, she must know someone, or
No, I didn't know anybody. I knocked on a lot of doors and I never took no for an answer. So
I remember that conversation we had.
Yeah, I never had any personal relationships with anybody from Black Ink. I literally reached out and tormented this man until he reached out back to me and was like, hey, listen, you've been so aggressive for the last year.
Can I share a little bit of that conversation?
Yes, because
we were having a conversation about an ex of mine and how he didn't put the work in. He didn't apply pressure to keep me. And she says, well, what do you want him to do? I want him to try. I said, when you really want something, you do not take no for an answer. Right. If that's what you want, no is not acceptable. I said it's the same thing with what you're trying to do. Okay, so they told you no. Or they didn't respond to your message. What did I say? You keep sending them motherfuckers until
Well, no, but I seem to remember having a conversation with you when, remember, you somebody you reached out to shared your story a couple times, and I was like, keep doing it. Because if you believe in what you're doing, keep doing it, and eventually they'll notice.
And that's the type of friendships you need to have. It's not a competition with us. It's more of a, how can I root you on? How can I give input and help you? Or what do you need me to do? Or how do you need me to stand back and let you shine? You know, and I think that's something that's pushing you forward, is because you're not afraid to share the limelight.
Well, of course, but you have to have friends that are around you that are definitely gonna support you and make you feel like you're doing the right thing. Because you know, some of them were like, I don't know, you're doing, even, you know, with my husband, it was like,
we wanted that,
you know. Yeah. But he really doesn't involve, like, I just kind of show him everything afterwards. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because he knows how aggressive I am with certain things. But I literally didn't tell him anything from like the premiere. Actually, I didn't even know we were going to be on the premiere of Black Ink. Like, I got the phone call from Puma that night at like, remember we were going to do like a whole party for it? Yeah. I got the phone call from him that night at 7:45 when the show was airing at 8 o'clock. And he was like, listen, you know, this is the first show, and the rest of the show we're taping in Atlanta, so you're going to be on the premiere. I was like, thanks for telling me, because I wanted to have a premiere party. Yeah. But I was super surprised that was it. But what I did was, I didn't even tell my husband about that. I woke him up, like he was sleeping. I woke him up and he was like, so cool, you know? Wow. I need to come out on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Woo!
So we're doing our second VH1 show. Second VH1 show.
And I'm trying to get her the next one. I want her to be on Housewives.
Well, that's what I'm working on. New Jersey, of course.
We're going to speak just Jersey, girls. We're going to speak that into existence.
Yes, Jersey Housewives. We're actually getting ready to do something with Miss Nikki, baby, tomorrow. And she'll be posting tomorrow from Love and Hip Hop. But we're definitely in some works with Melissa Gorga. So hopefully that'll be soon.
I just wanted to ask, you know, how does your husband feel about, you know, the strides that you make and the moves that you make?
Yes, but he's been super supportive, but I don't, if I ask for money for stuff, then he's okay. But I don't tell him about anything because I never want to jinx myself until it comes out. And then when it comes out, then I'm like, here, like with the Black Ink thing, I didn't tell him. I woke him up that night.
So with the, like, how was it coming home? Because you're also a mother.
Yeah. You're also, how do you find balance?
Yeah. And that conversation coming home and just being like, hey, listen, I want to start a whole clothing line. Like, how old was Bay at the time, your son Bay?
Bay was probably 1 or 2 years old.
Because most men would look at you like you crazy. Like, child, listen, you got a 1-year-old son.
Right. No, he did, because he thought I was comfortable being at home with like what he did, and that was enough. But he also didn't, because I don't think he really thought it was going to go anywhere. I think he thought it was just going to be like, okay,
little hobby.
you're going to do this, you're going to spend a couple thousand from a manufacturer, and you're going to do this. But he's been to every show that I've had. And also my ex-best friend over there has too. And Nino, my son's godfather, and Bay's Mandy, like they've always been there since day one, and you too, and everybody. But I've had a good. No, he doesn't.
But you know, yesterday was the most. Bay told me about his girlfriend.
Yeah.
The most.
Yeah, because he knows it's making me mad that he's talking about this girlfriend.
He had a whole conversation with me the other day.
He picked like the trampiest girl in first
don't
grade.
do that.
No. I see the picture of her. I said drama.
She had the choker on in first grade, and I was like,
The choker is a sign.
Yes. In first grade, there's no way if I had a daughter she would have a choker on in first grade. I would thank God I didn't have a daughter, because my mom
I say it every day.
And you know how Spanish moms are. My mom was like, "You're gonna have a girl. She's gonna be just like you."
Right.
Black moms do the same thing.
Did you have the thing with the pendulum like this? Was your mom like that with the Puerto Ricans?
Yeah.
You know the Spanish people have the pendulums like this, like, oh, yep, it's gonna be. I was like, not today.
Let's get into your community work.
So my community work, Dr. Santana, I reached out to him, and I wanted to do a lot with the Hispanic Alliance or give back, but my main goal is this. I want to be able to give men and women that are staying at the shelters their clothes for interviews, because they don't have those. Like at the Atlantic City Rescue Mission or anywhere else, when they come there in need. So my goal is to be able to have them dressed and have them properly dressed for interviews, because we all know that when you go to an interview like this, you're not going to get the job. Of course, anybody is like that. So that's my goal.
But not only that, it makes you feel good.
Right.
I mean, the main goal is to try to get these people where they want to be in life. Everybody goes through hard times, and everybody's had a struggle in their life, or everybody has this or had that. But the main thing was trying to get people dressed appropriately, because when those people go to the shelters, they come there with nothing, and they have nothing. So Dr. Santana has got me involved with Three Kings thing, and giving away food with families, with the sheriffs of Atlantic County. Last time we fed over 500 families.
So let everybody know how they can get in touch with Mr. Santana if they want
Mr.
to.
Santana, do you have your card so we can give it to everybody? Your information?
Well, we're talking about Instagram, and we're talking about for YouTube.
Right. How they can
Let's
find them on social
definitely
media.
give all your information so we can get that done, because it would be great to, and like I reached out to you guys and to ask you to be volunteers on the 20th to give away food to families at Baderfield on the 20th. It would be great for Sip and Discuss to be involved.
Okay.
And this way we'll get to feed a bunch of families.
Richie.
Hello, Dr. Pedro Santana here. I'm the president and CEO for Deal With It Management. You can look me up at dealwithitmanagement.com. We're an education and management consulting company. And I'm always active and believe in giving back to the community because I've been fortunate, been very blessed in my life and my family as well. My younger brother, Vladimir Santana, was producer for A Boogie, and he was actually responsible for 4 of the hits on his first album.
You can look him up.
You can look him up, Vladimir Santana. The credits are on the record, and again, Plug Studios is one of my cousins, David Cabrera, and Plug Studios was actually the ones that laid the tracks for A Boogie's first album. So Dr. Santana signing out. Thank you again for all the.
But how can we reach you, Dr. Santana,
yes,
for any volunteer work?
Any volunteer work or donations?
609 416 1009 is the number, or just visit our website, dealwithitmanagement.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything else that we should know? What's coming up? Fashion Week is coming up.
I have Fashion Week coming up in September, which is a huge show. We're doing Society Fashion Week, so we're doing it at the Pier 59 Studios. Like a huge show we're doing.
Ooh, I can't wait for that.
But this year I'm doing everything in black. But I'm doing all men in fitted suits, but then my gay male models that I'm having, we're doing in long trains with the fitted suits.
Okay.
So we're doing long trains, but the women we're taking it back to the 1940s. Like, I'm like such a crazy fan of Turner Classic Movies.
Me too.
I love those old 1940 movies, like with Elizabeth Taylor, Lana Turner, William Powell, things like that. We're taking it all back to the 40s, and every single woman is going to be wearing like the net over her eye, like, but each one's going to be different. We're doing like the veil, the one-piece net, the whole face net, like each woman will be different, but we have 17 models doing this show coming up. So I'm super excited for Fashion Week, but and we have the winner from RuPaul's Drag Race walking in our show this year. We're doing Miss Honey Davenport this year.
So this jumpsuit that I have on is super.
It's called a hoodie dress.
A hoodie dress. I'm sorry. I'm not into that now. But like this hoodie dress that I have on, I want to say is super comfortable. Like, it's soft. This is a really soft, nice material. But you also dress people like. Right.
Well, I do, but our men's line is going to be totally different then. Like, we don't put our logo on our men's line or our women's line unless it's in the back. Mm-hmm. Like, our logo wear is something completely different. But you have to realize there's always somebody that's something different. It's like with Atmi yesterday, I know her thing. Like, I know her style, so I know she's not like a little short hoodie dress kind of girl.
Yeah.
So this was the first sample that we've had of that dress. And for some reason, I had all these hoodie dresses with me, and I was like, this thing right here, this is for her. Like, I just knew already. I knew her.
You've dressed me twice. One for my for my birthday, which everyone, even my mom was like, "Oh my God!"
And that's a big thing if your mom says something.
Yes, like my mom was like, "That dress was amazing."
If her mom says something, it's good.
It was gold. It hit all the right places. That's one thing I like about Kloset Slayer. It always hits me in all the right places. When I did my forgiveness with Dr. Lyles, I had to perform and speak before a bunch of women, Christian women. So, but you picked out the perfect dress. It hit me in all the right curves, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that's something that you learn to get, is to be able to fit somebody. Like, I literally just knew that this dress would be for her.
Everybody know where they can check out Kloset Slayer. Drop your handles.
ClosetSlayer.online and at Kloset Slayer on Instagram.
Kloset Slayer. It starts with the K, Kloset Slayer, just how she's saying it. So we want to thank you so much for joining us. This is the first half of our show. Then we're going to get into the little spicy part. We're going to ask that Sing comes back, and we're going to ask that one of your other female models. So how about we choose Carmen?
Yeah.